Hello student. So far we completed up to this F1 genotype of F1 plants. How to ascertain the genotype of F1 plant. Now in this session we will see the F2 generation plants in monohybrid grass. Okay, and what are the phenotypic genotypic ratios. Clear? So let's started with parental plant like this. Tall plant, a pure tall plant and pure dwarf plant. Genotype is capital T, and the genotype is small t here. And the gametes will carry only the half the number of the alleles. So here the capital T and here it is small t. And in F1 plant you will get capital T and small t. That is all the plants are tall. Right? So up here we complete the next one. So by the selfing of these F1 plants or by crossing the two F1 plants, I repeat, by the selfing of these F1 plants or by crossing the two F1 plants, we will get the F2 generation plants. Clear? F1 మొక్కలని ఆత్మపరాగ సంపర్కం జరిపించి కానీ లేదా రెండు F1 మొక్కల మధ్య పరపరాగ సంపర్కం జరిపించి కానీ మనం F2 జనరేషన్ ని పొందవచ్చు. అంటే ఈ రెండింటిని పరపరాగ సంపర్కం జరిపించిన తర్వాత వచ్చేటువంటి మొక్కలని F2 తరంగా చెప్తాం. సెకండ్ ఫిలియల్ జనరేషన్, రైట్? సో now I am doing the cross pollination between the two F1 plants. So here the first F1 plant which is heterozygous for alleles capital T, small t, which is showing the tallness or the tall stem. And another F1 plant, now I am considering this is the female parent, the other one is the male parent. In the same wise, okay, we are cross pollinating here. Okay, so if this is a female parent, okay, if this is, let us consider this is a female parent and this is male parent. Okay, so from the male parent we have to take the pollen grains, and these pollen grains will be dusted on the stigmatic lobes of the female parent. Like that's nothing but cross pollination. Or allow this F1 plant for self pollination. The results will be the same. So here for easy understanding I am taking the cross pollination between the two F1 plants. ఈజీగా అర్థం చేసుకోవడం కోసం F1 మొక్కలు రెండింటి మధ్య పరపరాగ సంపర్కాన్ని మనం జరుపుతాం. సో F1 ప్లాంట్ లో రెండిట్లో జీనోటైప్ capital T. Now if this F1 plant is producing the gametes, ఒకవేళ ఈ F1 ప్లాంట్ gametes ని ప్రొడ్యూస్ చేస్తుంది అనుకుందాం. The gametes will contains only the half of the number of chromosomes. ఇది సంయోగ బీజాలు ఏర్పడుతున్నప్పుడు ఈ gametes సంయోగ బీజాలలో ఉన్న రెండు alleles లో నుంచి సగం మాత్రమే ఉంటాయి, రెండు alleles ఉండవు, సగం మాత్రమే ఉంటాయి. బికాస్ ద gametes are always haploid. సంయోగ బీజాలు ఎప్పుడూ కూడా ఏకస్థిత్వంలోనే ఉంటాయి కాబట్టి సంయోగ బీజాల్లో half the number of genes are present. సో సంయోగ బీజాల్లో సగము జీన్స్ మాత్రమే ఉంటాయి. రైట్. సో here this is the flower of the female plant and the gynoecium, ovary, style and the stigma. The ovary consisting of the number of ovules inside the ovule, the embryo sac and the egg cell is there. Now these are the egg cells. Okay, egg cells. So these are the female gametes present in this female plant and all are haploid, no doubt. So this female gamete will contain which type of allele? Okay, here because the two alleles are same, all the egg cells here they contain only the capital T in the first case when we are crossing with the parental plant, because alleles are in homozygous condition. All eggs are consisting of only one type of allele. Here also only one type of allele. All pollen grains will contain capital T, all egg cells will contain capital T, and by the fusion you will get the F1 plants. But here the case is the different. Here the alleles are different. So what happens is some of the eggs will receive the capital T allele, that is 50%. Right? Okay. And some other egg cells will receive small t. Means here the egg cells are of two types. The gametes that are produced are of two types. Some of the gametes contains capital T allele, some of the gametes will contain capital T allele, and some other gametes will contain small t allele. That is some other egg cells. Right. Here also this is a second male parent and a pollen grains. Okay. In this plant, what are the alleles that are present for tallness, capital T and capital T? These are the heterozygous condition, that is different. ఈ మొక్కలో మళ్ళీ టాల్నెస్ కోసం heterozygous condition విషమ యుగ్మజ స్థితిలో కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ కూడా అలీల్స్ డిఫరెంట్గా ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి వైల్ ద పోలన్ గ్రెయిన్స్ ఆర్ ఫార్మింగ్, పరాగ రేణువులు ఏర్పడుతున్నప్పుడు వాటిలో హాఫ్ ద నెంబర్, బికాస్ దే ఆర్ హ్యాప్లాయిడ్, నో, half the number of alleles will they contain. But which type, how then if that is the case, how what are the type of alleles that are seen in the pollen grain? Pollen grain lo పుప్పొడి రేణువులో ఏ type of alleles ఉంటాయి? See here also the some of the pollen grains will receive the capital T, whereas some other will receive the small t. కొన్ని పరాగ రేణువుల్లో capital T ఉంటుంది, కొన్నిటికి అంటే కొన్ని పురుష సంయోగ బీజాలలో capital T ఉంటుంది, కొన్ని వచ్చినట్లయితే small. Let us consider this is a pollen grain with a capital T, certain pollen grain, and some other with a small t. Now if here let us consider capital T pollen grain. Now this is one capital T pollen grain, or the pollen grain consisting of only the capital T allele. If it is germinating, okay, and producing the pollen tube and fuses with the egg cell. Here what is the allele present in the egg cell? Small t. That means here the capital T pollen grain or the capital T pollen grain will develop the capital T male gamete, right? The male, and if it produces a male gamete, that male gamete contains capital T. So here the zygote is produced. Here in the zygote, what are the two alleles that are present? From the pollen grain capital T, from the egg cell small t. So you will get the capital T and small t. So these seeds consist. Now after the pollination and fertilization, the ovule develops into the seed, no doubt at all. సో పరాగ సంపర్కం తర్వాత ఫలదీకరణం తర్వాత ఈ ఓవ్యూల్ విత్తనంగా డెవలప్ అవుతుంది. ఈ విత్తనంలో పిండ ఉంటుంది. ఇప్పుడు ఈ విత్తనాన్ని మనం నాటేసినట్లయితే అది ఎలాంటి మొక్కగా డెవలప్ అవుతుంది? సిన్స్ ఇట్ కన్సిస్టింగ్ ఆఫ్ క్యాపిటల్ T అండ్ క్యాపిటల్ T. వెన్ ఇట్ ఈస్ క్యాపిటల్ T అండ్ క్యాపిటల్ T, వాట్ ఈస్ ద ఎక్స్టర్నల్ అపియరెన్స్? టాల్నెస్. సో ఈ మొక్క ఏమవుతుంది? పొడవు మొక్కగా డెవలప్ అవుతుంది. పొడవు మొక్కగా డెవలప్ అవుతుంది. సపోజ్ we don't know which type of pollen grain will fertilize the egg cell. It's a random mating. Okay, it's a random mating. It's a mere chance. అంటే ఏ పరాగ రేణువు ఏ అండాన్ని సంయోగం చెందిస్తుంది అనేది మనం చూడం. సో ఖచ్చితంగా ఏమవుతుంది? ఇట్స్ ఛాన్స్ అవుతుంది. ఒకవేళ క్యాపిటల్ T పరాగ రేణువు వెళ్ళి స్మాల్ t అండాంతో సంయోగం చెందితే సంయుక్త బీజంలో ఇది ఉంటుంది కాబట్టి పొడవు. సపోజ్ ఇక్కడ ఇంకొక పోలన్ గ్రెయిన్ ఉంది, that is also consisting of capital T allele. So this pollen grain which produces a male gamete that contains, if at all, that contains a capital T allele, and it is developing, and when it fuses with the capital T allele, that is capital T containing egg cell. So here the egg cell is consisting of capital T. Now you consider this one. So egg cell is containing capital T allele. So here the developing pollen grain is also the capital T. So whenever these two gametes, male gamete from this pollen grain and the female gamete, the so-called egg, both are consisting of a capital T, so the zygote will contain capital T and capital T. That is a homozygous. Since the two alleles are similar, it is termed as homozygous. Whenever the two capital T means, again this seed will develop or produces which type of plant? Tall plant. సో ఇక్కడ ఒకవేళ పుప్పొడి రేణువు క్యాపిటల్ టీని కలిగింది అయ్యుండి అది వచ్చి క్యాపిటల్ T కలిగిన అండకణంతో సంయోగం చెందింది అనుకుందాం. అప్పుడు క్యాపిటల్ T రెండు ఉంటాయి సంయుక్త బీజంలో, అంటే అది పొడవు మొక్కగా డెవలప్ అవుతుంది. రైట్, దేర్ ఆర్ అనదర్ ఛాన్సెస్. ఓకే, అనదర్ ఛాన్స్ ఇస్ దేర్ ఇఫ్ స్మాల్ t ఇక్కడ పడిన పుప్పొడి రేణువులు, ఓకే, స్మాల్ t కలిగిని అనుకుందాం. ఇఫ్ ద pollen grains are consisting of the small t allele, now it is germinating and produce pollen tube, and if that pollen tube, small t pollen tube, okay, if it fuses with this type of egg cell, here the egg cell is consisting of which type of allele? No doubt the egg cells contains either capital T or the small t. Suppose here the small t allele, okay, pollen grain, if producing the male gametes, and that small t male gamete consisting pollen tube will enter into the egg cell which consisting of the small t allele. So here what happens? The pollen grain is small t and the egg cell is also small t. That means here the zygote will show small t. Again the homozygous condition, because the two alleles are similar. Whenever the alleles are small t, what is the type of plant body that is produced? Here the dwarf, that is పొట్టి మొక్క. సో జైగోట్లు ఇప్పుడు ఏముండొచ్చు అంటే ఈ విత్తనంలో జైగోట్ ఉంది, అది పిండంగా ఉంది. ఇప్పుడు ఈ విత్తనాన్ని మనం నాటేసినప్పుడు అది ఏ మొక్క కింద డెవలప్ అవుతుంది? సిన్స్ ఇట్ ఈస్ కన్సిస్టింగ్ ఆఫ్ ద టూ alleles ఫర్ the stem character, that is small t and small t, so it develops into the పొట్టి మొక్క, dwarf plant. because both the alleles are small t and small t. Suppose, okay, if the small t pollen grain, another pollen grain consisting of small t, if fuses with the capital T XL, again you will get the capital T small t. If capital T pollen grain, it fuses with the capital T XL, capital T, capital T. If capital T pollen grain fuses with the small t XL, capital T, like that, here there is a mere chance. Okay, it's a mere chance. So what are the chances? The capital T containing pollen grain may fuses with the capital T containing XL, or the capital T containing pollen grain may fuses with the small t containing XL. Small t containing pollen grain may fuses with the capital T XL, or the small t containing pollen may fuses with the small t XL. So these are the random mating. By random mating, you will get the 4 positive. Alright? Okay. So thus, if you collect these after the pollination, that means after the cross pollination of these two plants, if you collect the plants and so and they develop, if you collect the seeds and you develop, you will get two kinds of plants, because here there is a chance of small t may fuse, small t pollen grain may fuse with the small t. So you will get two types of plants here. So one type is tall plants, the other one is dwarf plants. పొడవు మొక్కలు రావచ్చు, పొట్టి మొక్కలు రావచ్చు. That is, in F2 generation we will get tall plants as well as the dwarf plants, right? So in the ratio of, or that is in the percentage of around 75% of tall and around 25% of dwarf plants, right? Now these chances of random mating will put into a Punnett squares, right? So what is a Punnett square? Punnett చదరంగాలు అంటాము, చదరంగం. సో ఎలా చెప్పగలుగుతాం దీనిలో? Okay, so based on the genotype, see here, based on the genotype we can ascertain the F2 generation, or based on the fusion also, gametic fusion also, we will ascertain the genotypes of the F2 plants. Clear? So from F1 plant, what are the types of gametes that are produced? From the female parent you will get that can produce the two types of gametes, in male parent also producing the two types of gametes. So put the gametes on either side. Clear? Now I am drawing the squares like this. Okay, on the top of this, drawing the male gamete, that is a male parent, two gametes, that is a capital T. The pollen grains consisting of the capital T means the gametes will consist of capital T. The other gametes, male gametes on the top, okay, or the female gametes, whatever it means, it's our interest. Okay, right. And the female gamete, suppose these are the male gametes, now these are the female gametes. Okay, the female gametes are also the two types. The female gametes are capital T and small t, whereas the male gametes will contain two types, capital T and small t, right? పురుష సంయోగ బీజాలు ఇక్కడ వేసాం అనుకుందాం, స్త్రీ సంయోగ బీజాలు క్యాపిటల్ టీ స్మాల్ టీ, పురుష సంయోగ బీజాలు ఇలా వేసాం. ఇప్పుడు what is the chances of random mating? The random mating, the male gamete, suppose this male gamete, this pollen grain may fuse with this type of XL, that means capital T, you will get the zygote of capital T and capital T. If this male gamete will fuse this type of XL, then you will get capital T and small t. So there is another chance, if the pollen grain is consisting of small t and that is fusing with the XL of this type, you will get capital T and small t, and here if this type, then you will get small t and small t. Alright, ఈ రకమైన పుప్పొడి రేణు ఇలాంటి అండంతో వస్తే ఈ జీనోటైప్ వస్తుంది, జన్యు రూపం ఇది ఇలా వస్తున్నట్లే ఇది ఫినోటైప్. So if the genotype is capital T and capital T, what is the phenotype? Here all the plant is tall. Here also, because capital T is the dominant, the plants are tall. Here also capital T small t, heterozygous condition. In whenever the alleles are occurring in heterozygous condition, the dominant character, dominant gene will mask the recessive gene. So the character of the dominant gene will only express it. రెండు విషమయుగ్మ స్థితిలో ఉన్నప్పుడు బహిర్గతత్వ లక్షణం ఏర్పడుతుంది, ఎందుకంటే బహిర్గతత్వ జన్యువు మాత్రమే దాని లక్షణాన్ని ప్రదర్శిస్తుంది. కాబట్టి మొక్క ఎలా ఉంటుంది అంటే పొడవుగా ఉంటుంది. Here both the alleles are in homozygous condition, however both the alleles are in recessive condition. రెండు సంయుగ్మాలు కూడా, రెండు యుగ్మ వికల్పాలు కూడా అంతర్గతమైనవి, కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ మొక్క ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే డ్వార్ఫ్గా ఉంటుంది, పొట్టి మొక్క ఏర్పడుతుంది. So whatever may be the number of gametes are produced, whatever may be the number of plants you develop or will cultivate, but there is only the one chance, that is, this is only the type of mating here. Whatever may be the number of gametes are considering are produced, whatever may be the number of plants that we develop, the chances are only like this. Okay, so you will get, this representation is called Punnett squares. Punnett squares. So what is the importance of this Punnett square? The random mating can be easily expressed so that you will not get any confusion. Random mating ఈజీగా మనం ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ చేయొచ్చు కాబట్టి మనకి ఎలాంటి కన్ఫ్యూజన్ కూడా ఉండదు. సో ఇది F2 తరం యొక్క మొక్కల యొక్క జన్యు రూపము, దృశ్య రూపం. మరి దీని నుంచి మనం ఒక రేషియో డిజైన్ చేద్దాం. సో మెండల్ మోనో హైబ్రిడ్ క్రాస్ లో, see here, these are the two parental plants. After the crossing of the two parental plants, we are getting the F1 plants. Okay, so by taking the F1 plant, by selfing of the F1 plant, or by crossing the two F1 plants, you will get the F2 plants. And in that F2, all the F1 plants are tall, whereas in F2 generation, you will get the tall as well as the dwarf characters. That is the tall and dwarf plants. F1 లో అన్ని పొడవు, F2కి వచ్చినట్లయితే పొడవు పొట్టి మొక్కలు రెండు ఉన్నాయి. మరి ఈ పొడవు పొట్టి మొక్కల యొక్క ర్యాండమ్ మేటింగ్ అంటే మీన్స్ గ్యామెట్స్ ర్యాండమ్ మేటింగ్ చూసినట్లయితే పొడవు పొట్టి మొక్కలు ఎలా ఏర్పడుతున్నాయి అంటే F1 ప్లాంట్స్ లో రెండు రకాల సంయోగ బీజాలు ఏర్పడుతూ ఉన్నాయి. సో ఈ గ్యామెట్ వెళ్ళి దీంతో సంయోగం చెందొచ్చు, ఈ గ్యామెట్ దీంతో సంయోగం చెందొచ్చు, లేదా దిస్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ గ్యామెట్ మే ఫ్యూజ్ విత్ దిస్ వన్ అండ్ దట్ లైక్ దిస్. సో ఇఫ్ దిస్ ఫ్యూజెస్ capital T and it fuses with, if this one fuses with a small t, that is capital T small t, and here also small t capital T means capital T small t small t small. So this is the the chances. So here, out of the 4 chances, the occurrence of tall plants is here, if you consider this entire thing as 100%. Now this quarter will represent the 25%. The percentage means nothing but the 100. So this entire thing, if you consider as 100%, each quarter is equivalent to 25%, right? If that is the case, in how many quarters the tall plants are there? Here in 3 quarters. That means what is the percentage of occurrence of tall plants in F2 generation is 75%. What is the percentage of occurrence of dwarf plants means in F2 generation is 25%. If we take the ratio, that is for tall plants to the dwarf plants, okay, మనకి తెలుసు percentage అంటే 100 తీసుకుంటాం. సో ఇక్కడ 4 boxes ఉన్నాయి, each quarter will represent 25%. So in 3 boxes you will find the tall plants, that is 25, so 75%. Dwarf plants only in one, that is 25%. Ready? 75% and 25%. Clear? Then if you take the ratio, okay, tall plant and dwarf plant. If you take the ratio, okay, so in 3 are the tall. Phenotypically, 3 plants are tall here, and phenotypically only 1 plant is dwarf. So what is the phenotypic ratio? What is the phenotypic ratio of F2 generation? What is the phenotypic ratio? So we can ascertain the phenotypic ratio by seeing this random mating. We can ascertain the phenotypic ratio by seeing this random mating. So if you observe the genotypes, okay, all these are the genotypes and these are the phenotypes of the plant. So what is the phenotype ratio? Phenotype means external visible appearance of the plant. So if you observe the phenotype ratio, that is 3 tall plants. So 3 and only 1 is the dwarf. So the ratio will become 3:1. The percentage is 75% tall and tall plants and dwarf plants are 25%. Whereas the phenotypic ratio will become 3:1. And if you take the genotype ratio, what is genotype? The genetic composition. So here genetic composition if you take. So genotype ratio is, so capital T, this is a tall plant which contains the genetic composition or the genotype of this tall plant is capital T. How many capital T plants are there? Only 1. So 1. So if you observe the second tall plant, second type of this tall plant is showing Even though it is a tall plant, it shows a genotype of capital T and small t. So how many number of capital T, small t tall plants are there? That is heterozygous tall plants. This is homozygous tall, and these two are referred as a heterozygous. Samayugmaja పొడవు మొక్కలు, విషమ యుగ్మజ పొడవు మొక్కలు. విషమ యుగ్మజ, two alleles are different. Some యుగ్మ కల్పాలు different గా. So heterozygous tall plants are 2 in number. And if you consider the homozygous dwarf plant with a genotype of small t and small t, so here it is only 1. Then the ratio of genotype, the genotypic ratio for F2 generation, not for F1. So all the F1 plants are only the tall, that is 100%. Okay, 0% of dwarf. In F2, F1 generation, 100% tall plants are there and 0% of dwarf. If you take the percentage, okay, if you take the ratio, all are, that is a percentage, all are tall plants. Okay, right. Whereas if you take the genotype ratio here, 1 is to 2 is to 1. But the phenotypic ratio is 3 is to 1, 3 tall plants, 1 is the dwarf plant. Whereas the genotype, this is only 1 capital T and 2 capital T small t, and the small t are 1. So this will become the genotypic ratio of F2 plants in Mendel's monohybrid class. So జన్యురూప నిష్పత్తి 1 is to 2 is to 1 అవుతుంది జన్యువులు బట్టి జీనోటైప్ ని బట్టి. దృశ్యరూప నిష్పత్తి 3 is to 1 అవుతుంది. So that is regarding the Mendel's monohybrid class, that is the ratios of phenotypic ratio of F2 generation, not for F1 generation, right? So in F2 generation, the phenotypic ratio and then genotypic ratio. After this, we can also consider the probability. What is the probability? Okay, what is the probability of occurrence of tall plants? The probability of occurrence of tall plants in F2 generation. Probability of occurrence of tall plants in F2 generation. See. So the tall plant genotype capital T. So probability is nothing but likelihood of occurrence of an event. There are 4 chances are there here. Out of these 4 chances, capital T occurrence. This is an event. ఇది capital T తోటి మొక్క రావటం, మొక్కలు ఉత్పత్తి జరగటం అనేది ఎన్నిసార్లు జరుగుతుంది? Out of 4 chances లో, that is nothing but the సంభావ్యత, probability. So the probability is here, out of 4 chances, the plants with capital T, probability of capital T tall plants is 1/4. That will becomes 0.25. Whereas the probability of heterozygous tall plants, the probability of heterozygous tall plants is here 1/4. This is 1/4 becomes 1/2. That is 0.5 probability. 1/4 plus 1/4. So that will becomes, okay, 0.5. Okay, then what is the probability of the plants with genotype small t and small t? This is in 1/4, 25%. That is 1/4 out of 4 chances. Only 1 chance is there. So 1/2, 1/4 here also. So the probability will becomes 0.25. Now if you add all these, this will becomes 1. So 0.25, 0.25, that is the probability. So what is the occurrence? What is the probability of occurrence of here? So what is the probability of occurrence of homozygous dominant tall plants? That is 0.25. What is the probability of occurrence of heterozygous tall plants? 0.5. What is the probability of occurrence of homozygous recessive plants? That is 0.25. సంభావ్యత సమయుగ్మజంలో ఉండి బహిర్గతత్వ జన్యువులు కలిగి ఉన్న సమయుగ్మజం కలిగిన పొడవు మొక్క probability సంభావ్యత ఎంతగా ఉంది? 0.25. విషమయుగ్మజ స్థితిలో ఉన్నటువంటి పొడవైన మొక్కలు వాటి యొక్క సంభావ్యత ఎంత ఉంది? 1/4, that is 1/2, that is equivalent to 0.5. సమయుగ్మజ స్థితిలో ఉండి అంతర్గత జన్యువులు కలిగినటువంటి మొక్క, that is సంభావ్యత ఎంతగా ఉంది? 1/4. Out of 4, only 1 chance is there, no other case. So it will become 0.25. So this is the probability of occurrence of these genotypes in F2 generation. Right. So that completes the monohybrid cross. That completes the Mendel's monohybrid cross for tea plants. Alright. See once again. Here we started with the parental plants. These 2 plants are the tall plant, that is a pure plants. Okay. We know the what is the meaning of pure plant. Suddha mokka ani cheppam. So that part also completed. So Podavu, Potti, tall and dwarf, genotypes of capital T, small t, and these are the gametes, that samyoga బీజాలు. ఇక్కడ అన్ని పుప్పొడి ఫీమేల్ ప్లాంట్ కాబట్టి అండకణం క్యాపిటల్ T తో ఉంటుంది, పుప్పొడి రేణు స్మాల్ t, F1 plants capital T small t. So by the selfing or cross pollination of F1 plants, we will get the F2 plants. So what is the gamete? What are the types of gametes that are produced? Here you will find the two types of gametes because heterozygous condition is there. Who can apply one formula for this? How many types of gametes are producing in case of heterozygous alleles? Means here around 2 power n. This is the formula. So heterozygous condition 2 power. Here only we are considering where n is the number of characters. So we are crossing with we are considering only one character. So 2 power n, that is equal to. So you will get only the two types of gametes here. So one with a capital T and the other one with a small t. So we are considering where n is nothing but the number of characters. So how many types of gametes are produced for when you cross? This is a monohybrid cross. So one character we are considering, but with the two different varieties. So because monohybrid cross, in place of n we have to take 1. So in F2 generation, so that is from the F1 plant, which is heterozygous, you will get the two types of alleles. That is two types of gametes. 2 power n means two types of gametes are produced. So after that, by the random mating of gametes, you will get these type of plants. Okay, and these type of plants. Then what is the genotypic ratio of these plants? 1:2:1 F2 generation, and phenotypic ratio will become 3:1. Okay, percentage of tall plants is 75%. The percentage of dwarf plant is 25%, and the probability of homozygous tall plants will become 0.25. Heterozygous tall plants will become 0.5. Homozygous X2 plants or dwarf plant will become 0.25. So ఇది సంభావ్యత that completes monohybrid cross. ఏక సంకరణం, మెండల్ చేసినటువంటి బఠానీ మొక్కపై ఏక సంకరణ ప్రయోగం. So that completes the monohybrid. Right? Thank you. We'll continue in the next session.